Well, I'm not gonna lie. Is Anthony really the worst signing in our history?
Yes.
Are we really saying he's maybe not willing? No, because hear me out. This guy, apparently, the stat came out today. He hasn't scored in 36 of his 48 games. Now, I understand what people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, he's young. Oh, he should have never been leading the line. Oh, it was Ten Hag. Oh, I understand. There is reasons. I'm not saying there's no reason. But I don't think there's an excuse for anyone at any level to go 36 games out of 48 without contributing with a goal. Because you know what the issue is? When he doesn't contribute with goals, he generally doesn't contribute with anything else. I do generally feel like we're playing with 10 men when he's on the pitch. You guys were talking about his hold-up play earlier, Dizzy. It's not even that. There was one chance where Garnacho played a very good ball to Mazraoui. Mazraoui takes it to the byline, and I'm looking for the cutback. My instinct, anyone, bro, wallahi, if you just played football in the if you played five-a-side, bro, you know where the striker is going to be. You go to the byline, the striker has to be somewhere behind you. You just pass it to him, tap in. This brother runs to the near post. And I'm like, you just jammed the near post because you didn't know where to be. You should have been stopping. When all the defenders are running, remember Berbatov. Berbatov just spoke about this 2 weeks ago, about that Blackburn girl he scored. He's like, all strikers know is run to the 6-yard box. He was like, I used to outsmart defenders. They know I'm gonna run to the 6-yard box. So when they all run, I'm the one who's the last one who's on top of the 6-yard box who gets the easy tap in. But that's mentality. Obviously, I'm not comparing Hojlund to Berbatov. Today he does that, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, you can't hold up the ball, you cannot dribble, you get bullied, and you can't make runs. He is generally a liability every time he plays. The only thing he might do is just run so we can waste time, make the opposition tired, and then actually bring on the players that are decent so we can try to win the game in less 30 minutes. That is the only use this guy can make. And this is why when I say, think about it, really, I want everyone, don't give me an answer now. Think about it and sleep on it. Is Anthony actually the worst signing in history in our club, or is it Hojlund? Because it's not conclusive.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question, and I understand why you think and feel it. His goal scoring record is too good in Europe for me to say he's the worst signing in our history. However, even with Anthony, there are other players I think have been worse for us. What I would say about the two of them is pound for pound in terms of the how much they cost, they're up there. But what you've got to factor in with pound for pound is that £20 million was a lot of money for players 20 years ago. So you have to be very mindful of that. But you are right. He's drowning. He's absolutely drowning. And I think the hindrance has been this sort of, he's had to be the main man straight away, and he clearly wasn't ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled, and now he's just drowning out there. And it's a shame that he isn't putting in performances because it's going to be harder to get money for him. But I look at him as a player that we should almost look to cash. A few weeks ago, I was saying, no, I'd keep him as the backup. I'm now slowly starting to change my mind and thinking maybe we should be cashing in on him. You could still probably get yourself 30 or 40 million euros back. He's got a good goal scoring record in the Champions League and in the Europa League.
Generous.
But as a Man United fan, we've all got to control the fucking narrative here, right? And try and make sure our players.
I know. I'm just laughing because I generally don't even see that.
Yeah, but the reason why I say that he is on a real level is if you look at the his goals to game ratio in Europe, that should be our selling point. Because for some clubs, I think you can go other places and do well. I just look at it and think Man United, it may be over for him now because I just looked at him today and he just looked lost.
He should have had a Brighton. You know those players that we get linked with and then we don't buy them and then they go to like a Brighton and then they ball out and then 2 years later their price is like 10 times more and you're like, oh shit, we should have signed him 2 years ago. He probably needed that club, but to be fair, they asked us for 70 mil. It's not like
we just skipped the step. We'll give you the bread anyway.
I promise you, he would have went to Brighton for like 20 mil. They would have.
I know he needs that middle club. I think personally,
I'll be right back. Sorry.
We should really be loaning him out.
Yeah,
maybe that's the option. Yeah,
loan him out for a year or two, build him up a bit, bring him back, see how he does, and if he still flops, then you sell him off the back of 2 good loans. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least do it that way. The plan was for Rasmus, and we know it was true, was that he was supposed to be the second option with another striker. We ended up failing as a club to get that first choice striker, and now he ends up being on number 9, and now he's flipping drown. He's failing. He's not handling it. And you know what? He's a young lad who barely played football. Why would I expect him to handle the pressure of being Man United's number 9? It's unfair. So I feel for him in that sense. But right now with him, he shouldn't be near the starting lineup. He should be going out on loan. And Man United need to use this as an example of going out. And if you're going to buy a player this raw, have an actual plan for him. So have an actual senior player or 2 senior players in front of them to help them develop and to come on. Or you loan them out to specific clubs to help them get the experience they need. Right now,
I think from a money perspective, loaning him out is probably smarter because if you loan him out, let's say you send him to a Bundesliga club and he scores like, I don't know, like 18 goals, whatever it is. Like, I'm not saying anything big. I'm saying, let's say he scores 18 goals in a season. You can bring up his price tag because just, and listen, I'm good at these type of conversations because I'm a Liverpool fan. So we have to be accountants as soon as we sign up to be a Liverpool fan. If you lose like 40-50 million on every bad transfer you make, that's really bad business. So you should try to recoup as much as possible. Even try to recoup, like if you loan him out to a Leipzig, let's say, because they'll take him on loan, a club like that, club in the Champions League or Europa League at least, or even conference, just as long as there is Europe, and he goes out there, he scores 18 league goals, maybe 25 overall, something like that. Then that's your selling point to whoever the hell wants to buy him after, which is, okay, he had a bad time at Man United. Maybe this league doesn't suit him. If you want him, we want 50 million. You limit your losses, as an example.
Great point on that. Great point on that. Viewers, give us your thoughts and feelings on Rasmus. What should Man United do? I know some of you would just write he's trash. If that is the depth of your footballing knowledge, then fair play. But we'd like a little bit more.
He should be sent to the Gulag Championship.
And Kunku and Rasmus, perfect is what Ronin said. Ronin says here. Red Devil Rebel says, chat about Collyer. What a player he is. Goes for every ball, 100%. I keep saying on multiple streams, bring some more youth. They'll give everything. What did you make of him today, Dizzy? Young Toby Collyer again in the midfield.
I like him. When he came on, I was saying, you know what? He's one of those players to me that's like, we don't need to speak about him too much. We don't need to gas him up. We don't need to blow him to the moon. He comes in, he does his job. He plays 20 minutes. No one's begging him to start. Or when he starts, he plays well. He comes off. Let's just keep him on this track. We don't need him to be the next Mainu who's starting every game when fit. I like him. And to Red Devil Rebel's point, I think we should bring in more youth. I think from some of these, man, I think we've seen everything we're going to see, to be honest. And I don't think that the youth could do worse. Like, are you telling me what could be worse than what Dallow's giving us on the left at the moment?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
True,
there's certain positions on the pitch where I'm like, we can't get worse. It could be just as bad.
You know the kid, Chido Obi, in
Chido
our academy. Generally, bro, tell me how worse can he be than any of our strikers right now? And I like Xerxes, and I think he gives us something.
I agree with that. So what we just want to make sure we're not doing is having too many kids at once, because again, some
I'm not putting the pressure on them. Terry.
No, I agree.
I integrate them.
But I agree. I think 1 or 2 more being given a chance between now and the end of the season makes a lot of sense. And maybe it's a game where you go, right, Harry Amas, if he's still, he might have been loaned out. I don't know.
He's still here.
It's like maybe you give him, maybe it's a game where we're at home against a team that we think, okay, we maybe that's the game where you give him an opportunity to see how he performs and does. Maybe don't do it in a game where you've got Collyer, Mainu, Xerxes, Rasmus, all that together, all of the young players and ones that are struggling. But no, I was impressed with him today. He's got legs. The thing with it is, I'm still not sure how good he is on the ball, because I've got to watch him more. But what he does give us is athleticism in the middle, and we lack it so much.
It's just, I don't want to be rude to the lad because he is talented. You have to be talented to be playing Premier League football. People don't get that twisted. But he's just the basic that you need. The basic standards. I know the super chat said, what a player. But no, he's not a what a player. He's not that. I don't need him. I don't want him to be that. He's just a player who's coming in. And for me personally, I could see him getting sold in 2-3 years' time if we're back on track. I could see him being a squad player now and forevermore. He's what McTominay should have been for the longest time. But again, even he had his little fan base. Even he had his little stands and his followers.
No, but he's a better midfielder than McTominay. McTominay wasn't good as him.
McTominay was a striker playing in midfield. I'll say that at the end of time. But this is what we need, these kind of players in the squad. And if Collyer can be that, then I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a better player than you're giving him credit for, but I actually understand where you're coming from. This just why don't Man United, I said this the other day, right? young David, who's now not so young anymore, he's left school and uni and everything else, might be doing a master's, but he did something that I thought was really cool for a school kid when he was at school. He was off the grid, no social media. He was a bit of a mystery man. And I thought, how cool is that you're not like every other kid? That's one of the reasons I like David. I like that little approach. Why don't Man United fans try and do something cool, right? And different. And instead of hyping every youngster, sit back and be relaxed about it. Like for me, again, I'm an old man maybe, so maybe I don't get what's cool. I've never felt being cool is copying what every other single person does. So right down to when I was younger and everyone was watching The Sopranos, I was like, I ain't watching that, but that shit's finished. Because I just felt like following. Do you know one of the most embarrassing things I saw in recent years was people that don't watch and don't care about Love Island go, oh, I'm going to start watching it so I can join in tweeting about it on Twitter with people. I remember looking at that thinking, you sad prat. You plonker. Like that's the least cool thing you could ever do, right? And I just want us to do that with some young players at the club. Why don't we buck the trend, stop the hype, enjoy what they do, and slow things down?
That's what Cage is trying to do. Because Cage
I agree.
He's not what a player. He's a good player. He's a Premier League player. You could see the things that he does. He's like, you know what? There's a bunch of people that you do the same thing they do, and they all exist in the Premier League. So you should be playing the Premier League. The thing is that super chat, and I don't want to make too much of that super chat. It's just that we're kind of hyping it up. Like he's gonna be one of those players that if we try to sell him in a year or so, we're gonna be like, oh my god, why are you selling him first? Why are you selling him when this player's on the payroll? It's because like we just hype him up. Like he's a good player. That's it.
Yeah.
Keep him in the team for 1 or 2 years. You get a 20 to 30 million offer from some random team in the league, like a not Burnley, but like a Fulham or something, and you sell them on and you make PSR money, and there you go, you move on. That's it. Like it's nothing super amazing to talk about.
I hear that.
But he did have a good cameo, just to say.
And also, before you go, Terry, big up his goal line clearance.
Yeah,
he saved it today. That's equivalent to a goal.
I'm so shocked none of you mentioned that. That's like the most important part today.
I forgot. Yeah. He saved it.
I mentioned it at the top. Sam here says, name a United fan who is more biased than Ty or Julian from AFTV. By that metric alone, Arsenal are 10 times worse.
Agreed.
2025 is the year of peace for me.
You know what? I mentioned
Trey,
that guy, he's an actual curse. You see that tweet from the Real Betis account?
Yeah.
No,
they said, please don't wish him good luck.
Yeah. Rivals big mad again after United win. Love it. This is very true. Not every United fan is delusional like Ahmed on your channel. Is what he says here.
Big up Ahmed, he ain't delusional.
Nkunku will make it all work hopefully this week. Yeah, Ronan, you can just do one, mate. You can just do one. Based on Hojlund goal scoring in Europe, I think he'll perform somewhere. I just don't think it suits the Premier League, is what Sam Ritchie says. That's a really good point. And one of our members here, Ian, says, I don't quite realize just how bad this United team is until we play them on Thursday with our C team and the poorest we've been in years. It took a late Bruno goal to salvage a win. So Ian, who's obviously a Rangers fan, and look, we know how poor we are, which is why fans like myself and loads of us said just sacking a manager won't fix us. It's never been as simple as sacking a manager, and I still can't believe the people that push that narrative for the last 10 years are being listened to by anyone. There's getting things wrong, but there's getting the biggest problem at our club wrong consistently for 10 years and still being listened to as a matter of authority on it. And I'm talking more about the mainstream media. Those are the biggest fuckers out here, I'm telling you. Look, I want to thank everyone who has tuned in this evening. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank the super chatters and everyone else who's been here. This is going to redirect you to Sam's channel, so go and support him over there.
Pronounce it. I dare you. Pronounce it correctly.
El Aqua.
Yes! You actually did it. Let's fucking go. El Aqua.